The Garleans forebears were once humble farmers driven from their homeland into the frozen north. A daring few found power within the void, binding themselves to its creatures to gain verboten power, power fed by the souls of the slain. Once more they took up their scythes, this time to reap a crimson harvest. If you're new here, I'll give a brief introduction. My name's Zio, and I primarily cover lore content for another game called Phantasy Star Online 2. Today I'll be talking about the scythe-wielding edgelord melee job, the Reaper. Before we get started, let me make one thing abundantly clear. We'll just be going over the basics here and sharing my impressions on the job. Also, we won't be talking about potencies here, since those are subject to change over the course of an expansion. Okay there, that should cover my ass with the number crunchers. You have your basic 1-2-3 filler combo in the form of Slice, Waxing Slice, and Infernal Slice. For dungeon pulls, you have the AoE combo of Spinning Scythe into Nightmare Scythe. That red bar is your soul gauge, which you fill up by landing the aforementioned weapon skills. You have your ghosty pal called the Avatar, which performs attacks when that gauge hits 50. When that happens, you can perform Bloodstock, which gives you a stack of Soul Reaver, which grants access to your only two positionals, Gibbet for the flank and Gallows for the rear. A gibbet is a device used for hanging the bodies of executed people. I told you this job was straight metal. For AoE, there's Grim Swath, which hits enemies in a cone in front of you and gives you a Soul Reaver stack, which you can use for Guillotine. There's also Gluttony, which does an AoE attack and gives you 2 Soul Reaver stacks. One thing about Soul Reaver is if you use any GCD other than Gibbet, Gallows, or Guillotine, you'll lose that stack. Whenever you do one Soul Reaver attack, the other one becomes stronger and replaces Bloodstock with its unveiled counterpart. So if you did Gibbet, you'll gain access to enhanced Gallows, and vice versa. You also have Shadow of Death, which applies a debuff that increases the amount of damage you deal to the target, so you'll obviously want to keep this up full time. Its AoE counterpart is called Whirl of Death. You also have Soul Slice, which fills up your soul gauge by 50, and you get 2 charges of this at level 78. It shares a recast time with its AoE counterpart, Soul Scythe. At level 80, you can merge with your ghosty friend with the Enshroud ability after you complete the level 80 job quest. You can enter this state once the green bar called the Shroud gauge underneath your soul gauge reaches 50. You'll fill this up by using your Soul Reaver attacks. There's also Plentiful Harvest at level 88, which increases this gauge by 50. In this state, your Gibbet becomes Void Reaping and your Gallows becomes Cross Reaping. You'll alternate between these two like Gibbet and Gallows, but the fun doesn't end there. At level 86, your blue orbs turn to pink orbs after this combo, and you can follow it up with Lemuel's Slice. At level 90, you can use your last blue orb to finish this combo with the powerful AoE attack Communio. For dungeon pulls, Grim Swath becomes Grim Reaping and Guillotine becomes Lemuel's Scythe. Reaper's not a selfish DPS like Black Mage or Samurai. It's a team player with Arcane Circle, which grants a 3% damage bonus to nearby party members. It has some other cool effects too. It gives a stack of Immortal Sacrifice to every party member, including yourself, that lands a weapon, skill, or spell within the first 5 seconds. You can have up to 8 stacks of this. The more stacks you get, the harder your Plentiful Harvest will hit. Arcane Crest puts a barrier around you that absorbs up to 10% of your max HP. If that pops, you and nearby party members get a regen effect for 15 seconds. There's also your ranged attack Harp, which has a cast bar unlike other melee, but this is made instant by using either Hell's Ingress or Hell's Egress. These are your mobility skills that send you either forward or backward and leave a portal that can take you back to where you left it. Say you use Egress to send you backward. You would then use Ingress to send you to the spot where you were standing before. Then there's Soul Sow, which grants access to an AoE ranged attack called Harvest Moon. Soul Sow has a cast bar during combat, but it's instant if done outside of combat. When they first showed the job to us, I knew I'd like it right then and there. The job looks so metal, perhaps even more metal than Dark Knight, and that's a pretty hard one to top. Reaper has a really smooth and dynamic playstyle. If I had one complaint though, it's that Soul Sow and Harvest Moon feel tacked on. If I could change anything, maybe I'd make Harvest Moon an OGCD. As for Soul Sow, I'd give it a different function like buffing your own critical hit rate for a few seconds. Would I recommend the job? Sure, if you enjoy the gameplay loop and the aesthetic, play something because you enjoy it, not because of numbers on a spreadsheet. That goes for any game. So what do you guys think? Is Reaper your new main? This might be my new favorite melee, even after Samurai held that spot throughout Stormblood and Shadowbringers. If you enjoyed this, I might do some of the other jobs. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy Reaper as well as the rest of your day. And remember, to thine own self be true. Until next time, farewell.